Konnichiwa, ni hao, hola, guten tag, aloha, buongiorno, namaste, drasvutria, shalom, bonjour, and what's up? I'm Zane, and welcome to the Spiraken Manga News Podcast, bringing you the eyes on the latest manga news for the week of Thursday, January 27th to Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and check out our manga review podcast at www.spiraken.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the different news reports we talk about this week, you can email me personally at zan@spiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And if you enjoy what you hear, remember to support our Patreon to help us create more fun content for you to enjoy. We have 4 tiers with tons of rewards for you to check out, so definitely check it out if you have a chance. And with that in mind, let's get into the manga news of the week. We're starting off with actually some coloring book news, because a coloring book commemorating the 100th anniversary since the birth of manga creator Shigeru Mizuki shipped in Japan on Thursday. This one's not for kids, it's specifically for adults. The title of the book translates to Shigeru Mizuki's adult coloring book, A Travelogue of That World. Now, this book depicts in detail the afterlife of various regions in Japan and around the world. Now, Shigeru Mizuki, who fought in the Japanese army during World War II, frequently reckoned with death in his day-to-day life. As a result, he took an interest in how people around the world perceived that part of the world, and drew many pieces of art depicting it from the perspective of Japan and the rest of the world. The book also comes with coloring pages of characters from various Mazuki works, including Gegege no Ketaro. The book also teaches coloring technique, and it's a great addition that I'm excited to actually check out. Now, for those of you who never heard of the man, Shigeru Mizuki is a very famous mangaka who is most notably known for his work in yokai. He's best known for his manga series Gegege no Ketaro, but he also worked on Nononba, Onward Swords Are Noble Death, and Showa, A History of Japan. He unfortunately passed away in November 2015 at age 93 years old. And I'm extremely happy that he is getting a 100th birthday present, because he is one of the most memorable mangaka out there. He's someone that you should know about and check out. Also, he did all of this with his non-dominant hand since he lost his dominant arm in World War II, so he was a baller mangaka character. I know baller is no longer popular, but that's all I could say. He was the GOAT. One of the best mangaka of all time in the yokai world. So, yeah, we're going to get with that. So next we have some convention news. Oticon has announced that Oticon 2022, which is scheduled for July 29th to July 31st, 2022 in Washington, D.C., will require its attendees to be fully vaccinated and masked in all convention areas in the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. So if you plan to go to Oticon this year, you're going to need your Vax card, and you're going to have to be masked up all times. Last year, that was the case, so this shouldn't be that bad. Anyway, on to some other news. So, some manga app news. In celebration of their 3rd anniversary, Shueisha's Manga Plus app will allow users to read all the English chapters of its simul-release manga series for free for 1 year, starting on Sunday the 30th of January 2022. Now, each chapter you're going to be able to read once during this 1 year period. So if you pick a series, you can read it all the way up to current, but you only get to read it once. So that's the trade-off. But still, everything's free. So some of the titles included in this celebration are One Piece, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover, Dr. Stone, Mission Yozakura Family, Undead Unluck, Mashle Magic and Muscle, Ayakashi Triangle, Spy X Family, The Elusive Samurai, Chojin X, Excuse Me, Dentist Is Touching Me, and various other manga. So if you have Manga Plus, this is a cool time to check it out. Or if you don't have it, sign up for it. You'll be able to read some cool manga. So that is our basic manga news. So let's get into some licensing news, because this is a heavy week with a lot of stuff going on. So first off, we've got Cross Infinite World that has announced that it has licensed 3 new light novel series that are going to be released digitally in the next couple of months. We have The Dragon's Soulmate is a Mushroom Princess. This is by Hanami Nishin with art by Poporuka. As a result of the divine spirit's protection, Agnes has an unusual and often embarrassing power. Whenever she experiences strong emotion, she makes mushrooms sprout on people. One day, her royal fiancé, who claims to have dragon's blood, breaks off its engagement to Agnes, claiming to have found his true soulmate. Her reputation tarnished, Agnes vows to return to commoner life when she's unexpectedly summoned to a ball by her ex-fiancé's cousin, a prince who is far from horrified by her mushrooming him. This is fate, I promise you. It's no spur of the moment decision. My morals are not questionable. You and I must make the mushiest couple imaginable. Would you marry me? Agnes has a lot to deal with. Her personal flaws, an endless onslaught of mushrooms and the attention of a prince with a serious fungal fetish. Can Agnes get through this and face off to her true self, or will it all prove just a little too much? Tons of puns in this, and this light novel seems kind of absurd, but I kind of like it because it's a fantasy series which isn't an isekai. It's something a little different. Anyway, next we have Expedition Cooking with the Enoch Royal Knight by Mashimoto and Tera Akai. Despite being born as a 4-elf, one of the most beautiful creatures that inhabit the forest, young Mel Risuru suffers from poverty, a total lack of skill, and no magic power whatsoever at her disposal. Determined to save her beloved little sister from a life of hardship, Mel decides to join Enoch, the Royal Order of Knights. Upon being assigned as a field medic to the 2nd Exploratory Squadron, which boasts only 4 members of its name, she's shocked to discover bread as hard as stone and rubbery jerky made of mystery meat. This simply won't do. Medic Rishirishu's knowledge as a child of the forest is her greatest weapon in the battle for delicious food on the go. So if you're a fan of food manga and light novels, this one is going to do something different. It's going to be a light novel that's going to have recipes in it. I'm actually really excited for this because I talk about tons of food manga, and this one may have some cool recipes that I want to check out. So I will let you know how this comes out, and hopefully I'll be able to review it once we start the book review back up, because right now I know Zan's Book Corner is a little pushed back because some stuff's been going on, but we're getting back into it. Don't worry. We'll talk about that in one of the other podcasts. Anyway, the next light novel that they're releasing digitally is Onmyoji and Tengu Eyes, The Spirit Hunters of Tomoe. This is by Yoshiko Utamine and Yona Kazuki. Paranormal incidents heat up when 2 mysterious men cross paths in Tomoe, a small town in Hiroshima with a long history of supernatural encounters. Misato Miyazawa is a strikingly beautiful young man with a troubled past. Born to a distinguished family of onmyoji, specialists in divination, Misato is no stranger to the occult. That's why he jumps at the chance to join the Abnormal Disaster Unit in Tomoe's Town Hall Crisis Management Division, a unit more commonly known as the Spirit Hunters. Enter Ryoji Karino, a fiery, handsome man with peculiar green and silver eyes. Working as a freelance monk and raised by a man claiming to be a tengu, Ryoji is by no means an average citizen. When he finds Misato in a sticky situation, he kindly steps in, and the mismatched pair end up living together. What dark mysteries will unravel before them as they attempt to confront paranormal happenings under the constraint of government rule? Those are the 3 light novels that they're going to be releasing, and these are going to get a print release at a later date. We don't have a date for them right now, but we do have a date for when the light novels are going to be released, and I'll let you know about that in a little bit. Next, we have 7 Seas Entertainment, and they have a ton of news this week. First off, they are launching a new imprint titled Steamship. Now, this new imprint will be focusing primarily on works that would be considered sexy romance for women. That means it's going to be more romantic, more smutty, but it's not like Ghost Ship, where Ghost Ship is basically porn. This is more Harlequin-esque. And the company is licensing 4 new titles to launch this new imprint. We're starting off with Game Between the Suits, or Game Suit no Sekima, and this is by Mai Nashikata. Fuji Sayo has worked hard to climb the ranks at her firm, and she won't let anything stand in her way, even if it costs her lover after lover. Enter her new colleague, Ryayami Ryuchi. He's obedient enough in the boardroom, but in private he's challenging and flirtatious. He wants her, and he isn't afraid to show it. After falling into bed with him once and insisting it won't happen again, Ryuichi has an assertion of his own. She'll give in. The two agree to an affair that will only last until Sayo finds someone more suitable to her station and temperament, but Ryuichi is confident he'll win against any other man. Thus begins a sizzling game of push and pull that will set their office alight. Sounds saucy. Next we have I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess, or Otashihi ni Nanta Narita Kunai. This is by Saki Tsukigami, Natsu Kuroki, and N. Sutamori. A scandalous romance in another world? The noblewoman Ladana, daughter of a duke, is actually the reincarnation of a modern Japanese woman who is tossed into this fantasy world. Although she's engaged to the handsome crown prince, the last thing she wants is to marry into a polygamous royal family. Knowing that only a virgin can marry the prince, she devises a plan to lose her virginity to a mysterious playboy at a masquerade ball. Lydiana lands her mask Lothario, shares an explosive night with him, and goes to confess to the prince so she'll be set free. The only problem is the prince himself is the masked man, and now he wants her more than ever. This sexy rom-com is a new kind of adventurous fantasy. I bet it is. After that, we have Ladies on Top. Onanoka ga Daichi Dame Deska. This is by Neji Ganamate. Don't miss this josei romantic manga about shedding gender stereotypes and embracing one's sensual self. Mizuki seems like an ordinary office lady, tidy, cute, quiet, and looking for Mr. Right, but when she yearns for love, she's left cold by traditional romances where men take the lead. Then, at the age of 24, Mizuki discovers Shinomiya, a seemingly perfect guy at the office who likes aggressive women, and something awakens within her. Together, Mizuki and Shinomiya learn that reversing traditional gender roles can be liberating and exciting, especially in bed. These are essentially smut. Let's be honest, they're essentially smut. So it's like, Ghost Ship is hentai and ecchi. This is just smut. But I have to admit, this I think a lot of people are going to be enjoying, and the josei crowd is going to love this. I think this is something that they're going to end up selling in bookstores in the romance section because it seems so... Whoa, I think I went a little crazy there. Anyway, let's get back on track. So the final one is going to be Outbride, Beauty and the Beasts, or Outbride, Ike Konin, and this is by Toko Tsukinagi. In this reverse harem isekai romance, a young woman named Mashiro is reborn in a fantasy world inhabited only by men, and suddenly finds herself with 4 supernatural suitors. These handsome men with fur, feathers, and horns call themselves gods. She's now the sole human female in their world, so they all want her to bear their children. As if that's not enough, the air of this new realm is permeated with a poison that only a god can suppress with a kiss. Yeah, this is totally Harlequin stuff, but I gotta admit, I'm intrigued by these. These might be really cool manga. I'm not sure. I think I'm actually going to get Greta to read these, and then she can review them and let you know what she thinks. But I digress. Let's actually get to some of the other 7 Seas Entertainment news, because they've licensed 3 other manga that are going to be released under the standard 7 Seas Entertainment imprint. First off, we have Kimono G Hey. This is by Sho Aimoto, and Inugami is a Tokyo detective who specializes in the occult. One day, entering a call to a remote village leads him to Dorotabo, a peculiar boy named after a yokai that haunts muddy rice paddies. The boy has no parents and is somewhat unnerving, emitting a foul odor that draws the ire of those around him. Inugami quickly realizes that there's something more monstrous about Dorotabo than just his nickname, a fact proven when the two of them investigate an inhuman creature attacking local livestock. Perhaps Inugami can take this mistreated boy under his wing and train him to face the secret supernatural beasts hidden in this world, using the eerie power of his own body. I've checked this manga out before. It's disturbing and horrifying and actually really cool because it's a police procedural mixed with a horror series. So I'm actually excited to actually read this legitimately, and I'm going to buy this when it comes out. Anyway, next you have My Cute Little Kitten. This is by Milk Morinaga. Renee and Yuna have been roommates since school and decide to rent a place together after graduation. They've lived together as friends for 5 years, but things suddenly change the day Yuna adopts a kitten, even though their apartment doesn't allow pets. When Yuna says she wants to move somewhere that will allow them to keep the kitten, Reina admits her true feelings. She wants to be more than friends. Yuna isn't sure how to reciprocate, but she's game to try. I'm surprised that's not under the Sweet Ship or the Steamship line, but okay, let's see where that goes. Anyway, last but not least, we have our Torsos line, Humanx Monster Love, and this is by Ryo Shimayoshi. This is a single omnibus volume. This manga collection of stories about beastly love is from the point of view of the devourers and the devoured. Mermaids bring luck, but drag you into the depths. A woman's bird-like rescuer expresses his love in a language he doesn't understand. An extraterrestrial alien with no limbs learns how to feel. Very weird week for 7 Seas Entertainment, but you might be interested in those. So let me know what you think. Last but not least, one of the most popular publishers, Yen Press, has announced several books, novels, and manga series for July of 2022, as well as an audiobook release. So they have a ton of stuff they're throwing out this week. First off, for audiobooks, we have 8686 by Asado Asado. This is the audiobook version of the light novel series. It's coming out at the end of July. And if you enjoy 86, this is going to be really cool to hear it read. There's no word on who is doing the narration or what they're covering, but this is just the audio version of the light novel. Anyway, next on to actual books. We have Delicious in Dungeon, The Adventurer's Bible. This is by Tomoe Mori, featuring Laos and Marcel, of course, and even the lunatic magician and elves. Don't miss out on these new illustrations encompassing almost all your favorite characters. Within you'll find various stories that couldn't be told during the main story. Detailed character information ranging from age, height, BMI, family structure, and the first time they died. Absolutely everything there is to know about the characters, plus descriptions of the magical beasts that live in the dungeons. This is a one-stop shop companion full to bursting with world origin stories, monster guides, multiple dungeons, and descriptions of the various races that live in the world of Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Menchi. I'm excited for this because I love Delicious in Dungeon. I do wish that we did get an anime because I think the anime for this would be amazing. And I do hope we get the actual recipes in the book, but we're going to have to wait and see. Next, we have some light novel releases by Yen Press. We have Higahiro, After Getting Rejected, I Shave and Took in a High School Runaway. This is by Shimasaba with art by Buta. Yoshida was just rejected by his crush of 5 years. On the way home from drowning his sorrows, he runs into a girl crouching in the middle of the road, and she offers him a deal. Let her crash at his place and he can do whatever he wants with her. When he refuses, she asks to stay for free. This is the story of Yoshida, a 26-year-old office worker, and Sayu, a runaway high school girl, and their unconventional life together. We've talked about this. This was actually released by Katakawa's Digipub on Bookwalker. And the yen-on edition of the novel series is going to have a new edit of the digital version that Bookwalker released. So they're just rewriting it. So that's going to be kind of cool. Next light novel is Kakario Shinjuku. God's Doctor Starts a Practice in Another World. This is by Tamaki Itomori. A girl named Yai reincarnates into a world where one's name determines their essence. When a monster attacks her, she unleashes Ara, an ex-god in the form of a golden tiger, to defend herself. Shortly afterwards, however, Ara manipulates Yai into assisting his little brother, who has been warped into a grotesque form by a disease that strips people of their essences. As Yai searches for a cure, she finds herself warming to the pompous, threatening Arai. After that, we have Silent Witch by Matsuri Isura with art by Nana Fujimi. Monica Everett, the Silent Witch, is the world's only practitioner of voiceless magic. A veritable heroine who single-handedly fended off the Black Dragon of legend. However, the young prodigy is actually super-duper shy. Yep, turns out she only learned voiceless magic to avoid speaking in public. Ignorant of this, the 7 sages have placed her on a top-secret mission to guard the second prince. Can Monica keep it together as she contends with both social interactions and the evils targeting the young royal? This one sounds kind of cool, and it's something different. I have to admit that. It's something which is not an isekai. But anyway, next one. Tower of the Sun by Tomoe Mori. One young man's boring college life changes forever when he shares a budding romance with a girl named Mizuo. And it all comes tumbling down when she, of all people, has the gall to dump him. Now, with only his enormous, some might even say delusional, imagination to his name, he starts tearing through the streets of Kyoto. A Japanese fantasy novel for every man who's been let down by love and everyone planning on doing so. This one is truly different, and it's something that anyone can relate to. So this one I think is going to be the star of these light novels. Anyway, let's get into the mangas, because we got some really cool ones. We have Kowloon Generic Romance by Jun Miyazuki. Welcome to Kowloon Walled City, a dystopian townscape full of people brimming with nostalgia and a place where the past, present, and future converge. This vividly drawn tale tells the story of the secret feelings and extraordinary daily lives of the working men and women in the city. Next we have Tales of the Kingdom by Asumiko Nakamura. Purple-eyed adult, blue-eyed adult. One enveloped the light, the graceful sun, and one shrouded in darkness, the prisoner. Destined to walk different paths in a kingdom where a beautiful man is lauded as a hero while his enigmatic assistant toils to support him. They don't give you a lot with this, but I have to admit, it has piqued my interest. Anyway, last and not least, we have Tsubaki-cho Lonely Planet by Mika Yamamori. Fumi Ono, second-year high school student, stuck with the debts of her father, she needs a job fast. While she did indeed manage to find one as a housekeeper for the Akatsuki Kibikino, it leaves much to be desired. After all, the novelist has a mean glare and an even worse attitude. On top of that, she has to live with him? Oof, sounds kind of rough. And these are the releases and licenses for the week. So let me just reiterate and remind you. First off, in May of 2022, The Dragon Soulmate is Mushroom Princess is being released digitally by Cross Infinite World. In June of 2022, from Cross Infinite World, we're getting a digital copy of Onmyoji and Tengu Eyes. And by 7 Seas Steamship in print form on June 2022, we're getting Outbride, Beauty and the Beasts. In July of 2022, from Cross Infinite Worlds, we're getting Expedition Cooking with the Enoch Royal Knights. That's being released digitally. From Steamship in July 2022, we're getting I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess, being released in print. Yen Press is releasing all of their titles in print and audio and digital in July of 2022. So there's that going on. 7 Seas Entertainment is releasing in print format in August 2022 Kimono G Hey. Meanwhile, 7 Seas is also releasing under their Steamship imprint Game Between the Suits in August 2022 in print format. In September of 2022, being released by Steamship again is Ladies on Top. That's being released in print format. And then finally, in December of 2022, in print format, we're getting Our Torsos Align and My Cute Little Kitten being released by 7 Seas. And those are the licenses for the week. And let's get to some last-minute general updates. We only have 2 this week. First off, in February of 2022, the Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Verse 2X Booster arcade game is getting a manga adaptation titled Kido Senshi Gundam N Extreme. This is going to be released in Kadokawa's Gundam Ace magazine, and it will be written by Takashi Minakuchi and is part of a larger Project N Extreme. This will also affect the game in some way, but we're not entirely sure how that's going to be. So if you are a fan of Gundam Extreme Verse 2 X Boost, the arcade game, you're going to like the manga. Finally, our last bit of news. On February 26th, Tsukikage's Tensei Seijaku Manamo Sukawa Kitan Shitai, or The Weakest Genius Demon Messenger Wants to Return light novel series, is getting a manga adaptation. This adaptation will be drawn by Anagi, and Ri Shimashima is designing the characters. Now, the novel series follows a demon messenger named Phil, who ends up lost in a new strange world separated from his servant. This adaptation will be released in Injinsha's monthly Comic Rex magazine. So we have a ton of news this week, and I hope that you enjoyed all of it. And I hope that you're excited for some of these stuff, because I'm excited for a lot of the new content that's coming out from 7 Seas and Yen Press. But I digress. I think that's it for this episode. I've been talking for 25 minutes. So as usual, I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm Gonzville, and keep reading manga.